don't think people realized consciously until the last few months how much this idea that man is not good for man to be alone, this isolation from other people, how psychologically damaging it is, and it's also revealing simultaneously to me the weak spots in this social media where people don't have real friends, they have Facebook friends. And by the way, your Facebook friends are not real friends, they're fake friends. Okay? And so unless they also happen to be your friend who you actually see in the flesh, look at them in their real eyes, and that kind of thing. And so your followers on Instagram are not real. That's not real.
That's right.
I got what have I got? 2 million on Instagram.
Yeah.
And you know how many of them I know personally?
3.
Yeah, you,
me and James and Kelly.
You and James and Kelly, that's 3. My wife,
yeah,
Rachel. Yeah, I know all of y'all.
Oh, my wife doesn't follow me, so I don't.
And so, and you get these. It's funny. Some of these people that think they know something about social media go, "Oh, Ramsey, you're doing this all wrong, man. You only follow 33 people, and you have 2 million people following you. Yeah. You're supposed to follow a bazillion people, man. You're doing it all wrong." I'm like, "No, you're doing it wrong." Well, because you forgot the idea that human connection is a big deal.
It's everything.
That's why we're relishing going to football games.
Yeah.
That's why we're relishing going to an Eagles concert. It's why we're relishing going to a Ramsey Smart Conference, because we're in the presence of other human beings that have like-minded goals and values, and we're aiming at something together. We're not sitting somewhere looking at a screen and calling it a conversation.
I was on an interview the other day, and they asked me, it was about trauma, and the interviewer asked me, dude, I think this trauma that we're experiencing coming out of, was on par with 9/11 as a country. And I said, no, I think this one's actually worse.
Oh, definitely.
Because 9/11, whether it's an illusion, we had a common enemy, and it was them. And this time it was, well, maybe that woman walking her dog might kill me, or maybe my kid coming home from school might, what's happening? And we weaponized each other, right?
I went to buy a loaf of bread.
Milk and eggs.
And all of a sudden, I'm a villain.
Yeah, or someone's going to kill you, or you're going to kill all these other people. And we weaponized the most core human function, which is human connection. It just turned into a weapon, and then it got politicized, and then everyone went crazy. It went crazy.
Yeah. And we went from flattening the curve to masking to vaccine
to beating each other up with the curve, and
to everything else, and just panicking.
Yeah.
And it was much more devastating than 9/11.
Yeah.
To
fractured the psyche.
To the culture.
Yeah.
To the culture.
It's going to be a long time digging out of this one.
But there's the antidote.
It's other people.
Is relationships in person.
All day, every day.
Real relationships in person. This is the antidote to not only what happened there, but what has happened with this fake social media revolution is being exposed now as fake.
Yep.
Facebook's tanking, consequently. It's tanking. Because people are starting to go, it's not real. Well, that's why we called it virtual.
Well, it's back in the day when they used to give my granddad, I think it was one of his teachers or a coach, gave him cigarettes because it calmed him down when he was 10. And it worked. It did. And then we realized, oh, that'll kill you too, right? So, yeah, this was all fun and games for a couple of 10 years or 15 years till we realized, oh, man, it's going to kill us all. Yeah. So, we got to get back in the same room with each other, talk to each other again.
And attend some things. I'm making myself go do things
too.
In the presence of, and I'm making our organization start to do these events.
Yeah.
And even if it's uncomfortable, and even if some of you out there are pissed off, just go ahead and get ready to be pissed off, because we're doing it. Okay? Because I know you're scared, and I understand you're scared, and I'm sorry you're scared, but we're doing it. We're going to get back out here and help people again and move the dadgum needle. And if you don't like that, well, you don't have to come. It's that easy.
Come anyway.
But we'd like to have you anyway.
Come anyway.
Well, don't come if you're miserable. Don't make everybody miserable. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Today's Ramsey Network app question is from Kathy.
This comes from Kathy. Is it still necessary to budget in your 60s and 70s? I feel like this is the old dentist quote, only brush the teeth you want to keep.
Oh!
Feels the same with money. Only budget the money you want to keep.
Oh.
Is that fair?
That's good.
If you don't want to keep it, don't budget it.
Here's the thing. Rachel talks about this better than anybody because I never talked about this before she came along and started talking about it on the air. And she
made it cool.
Well, she's a spender. She's had to figure out that the budget is actually a spending plan. When you have agreement on where your money's going to go, it lowers your stress level because it gives you permission to spend guilt-free on X or Y or Z. So if you're in your 60s and 70s and you have a good nest egg and you say, I want to go on a trip, but I feel guilty, or I want to buy a car, but I feel guilty. You can look down at your budget and go, wait a minute, I've got the money.
It's not impulsive. We planned for it.
It's we built this nest egg to be able to do these things and to retire with dignity. And the budget is permission to spend because it says, hey, look, we've got our food, we've got our lights and water. The nest egg is not being bothered. We can do this. We can afford to go out and eat. We can afford to buy that clothing item, whatever it is you're doing. I don't care what it is, but it gives you permission to do the stuff without guilt because you know you're not messing up. And so it's an anxiety reliever. So I would recommend it.
Yeah. And as you get older, I hope, Kathy, that you guys are debt free with a great nest egg to where budgeting it's a quick monthly budget meeting. It's not, pain inducing. And you're going to have so much margin that the budget just becomes a fun spending plan versus we got to be real tight. We can't spend any of this.
Yeah.
And every dollar is a great way to do that.
This week, George, on the air, I've taken, with Jade and John and Ken and so forth, I've taken some calls that were really sad, that were like 71-year-old lady that called and had absolutely nothing. A 73-year-old guy that called and said, I'm working, I'm 73, but I don't have a single dime to my name. I've got Social Security. My wife has Social Security, so I got $3,700 a month coming in from that, and I'm tired, but I don't have a single dollar. I mean, he had like $4,000 saved. And those are sad calls in those situations. And I probably didn't stop during those particular episodes and do a good job of yelling at 20-somethings to take a lesson from that call. If you're listening and you're in you're 26, or you're 24, or you're 38 or whatever, and you hear a 75-year-old, 74-year-old call in tears, Dave, I'm tired. My body's breaking down. I cannot work anymore, and I have to because I don't have any. You should take that as God's signal to you to get your crap together.
That's a wake-up call.
That's your wake-up call. Ding, 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 ding. That's the cold shower right there that says, I don't want to do that. I was talking to this guy that one time that was multimillionaire, and he was kind of gruff. He probably even shouldn't even tell this story because he's kind of a grouchy old guy. But it was kind of funny, too, in a way, and kind of sad. He said, Dave, you know what an old man is that has money? I said, no, what? He goes, Grandpa. He said, you know what an old man is that's broke? I said, no, what? He goes, in the way.
Oh, gosh.
That's sad. That's pretty cold, too. But in that, and so I don't want to be working at McDonald's when I'm 70 unless it's the one I own in St. Thomas, right? I don't want to be a Walmart greeter and say I'm doing it for fun unless I own the Walmart. And I probably don't own it since Walmart owns it. So there. So, I mean, I
very different story when you work because you want to versus because you have to.
Give yourself some options by being able to say yes later by saying no now. Quit consuming every stinking thing you make. I mean, some of you out there make so much money, and you work really hard, and you're really smart, but you're dumb. You spend everything. And, when you hear one of these 70-somethings call in, you should take that as God's direct slap. And God is saying, don't do this. In the house of the wise are stores of choice food and oil, but a foolish man devours all he has. Learn something from these. Don't just be entertained by the show is what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of wonderful or sad life lessons in this show. There's lessons in here about my family's all screwed up. I've had 3 of these calls this week. My family's all screwed up because the will got messed up. And, and my aunt stole my 90-year-old sister's money and all this garbage. And
family drama.
And all that is if you're listening to that's your The reason you got tuned in right then, it was not an accident. It was not a coincidence. It's telling you to get a will. Get your will done. Get it done. Get over Mama Bear Legal Forms or get with a lawyer and get your stinking will done. And make sure don't die with a bunch of little kids in the house and no life insurance. Get on the phone with Xander and get your life insurance. You ought to be listening to the stuff on this show and then going and doing it because it'll change your life and the destiny of your whole family. And man, when that stuff comes in, I don't stop and rail on it enough because it kind of shames the person that I just talked to, and I don't want to do that. I mean, I'll pick on them and pick at them to get them to go help themselves. But man, it's so sad to take these calls from these folks that have worked their whole lives and they got nothing. And they're saying, I hope the government, which is well known for its ability to handle money, will take care of me. That's a bad plan. So if you're 32, you're 22, you're 42, and you're listening to this, straighten your butt up. I mean, come on, grow up. Save some dadgum money. Quit buying $784 car payments and wondering why your butt's broke. That's just stupid. Of course you're broke because you're stupid. Stop it. Really, I mean, God almighty, because this is where you're going to end up. This sad person who doesn't have any, they don't have any money to eat. It's awful. It's awful. It's so sad. So don't just listen to the show for entertainment. There are life lessons in every one of these dadgum calls that are sending out signals to you 30 million people that are out there on YouTube, podcast, and talk radio. So for God's sakes, go do this stuff.
Yeah, if all you do is consume this show, you are missing out. You got to live it out. Don't say, "Hi, Dave, I've been listening to you for 20 years. Never did the stuff, but it's entertaining." That's not the point.
Now you're part of the entertainment because you're stupid. Oh my gosh. For goodness sakes. No, don't be that caller. Don't be that one. Be the one that calls up on the Baby Steps Millionaires theme hour and says, I started this stuff 17 years ago and I got $8 million now. I've been living on less than I make for 40 years. It's not fancy, it's not sexy, but my family's taken care of and I'm not having to call people for food. Come on, man.
I want my kid calling saying, "Hey, my dad left $10 million. What do I do with it?"
There we go.
That's
$3.4 million.
There we go.
That's the one I want. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Sean and Sydney are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Better than we deserve.
I love it. Congratulations. And where do you guys live?
Boise, Idaho.
Well, welcome to Nashville from Boise. Good to have you. Awesome. And how much debt have you guys paid off?
Just over $758,000.
Good Lord. Okay. Wow. And how long did this take you?
It took us 3 days shy of 6 years.
6 years. Very good. And your range of income during that 6 years?
We were lucky to have a pretty big shovel and consistently made over $225,000 throughout the process.
Okay. All right. Cool. Very good. And what was the debt, the $758,000?
$27,000 was a car, about $208,000 was a rental property, and then we had a first and second mortgage on our house for the remaining part.
Paid off your house?
We did.
I'm looking at weird people.
Absolutely.
Way to go, you guys. Awesomeness. Very cool. So what's the house worth?
The house was worth about $925,000 to $950,000.
Whoa. Way to go. Excellent job. Neat. And in Boise, that's a big house.
Yes, we're pretty lucky.
Yeah, that's neat. Congratulations. Very, very fun. So what do you guys do for a living?
I work in medical device sales.
And I work for an orthopedic distributor.
Great. Well, there's some great incomes. Yeah. Way to go, guys. Very fun. So how long have you been married?
8.5 years.
Okay, so a couple years into marriage, you look up and say, we're making bank and we ought to get out of debt. Tell me the story.
It actually started about 8 years ago. My parents, who are here with us, paid for us to go through FPU. But at the time, Sean was traveling a bunch, so he didn't go to the class with me, and it didn't stick.
Of course.
So a couple of years after that, we were on the verge of a financial cliff, as we call it. We had all of this debt, and then we were looking into purchasing a vacation home in Sun Valley.
Whoa.
And leasing a luxury vehicle for me.
Wow.
And we looked at the numbers, and it just scared us, and something caused me to order the Total Money Makeover. And I read it in one night when Sean was out of town. And I looked around our living room, and it hit me that this is our home, but it's not our house. It's the bank's. And it terrified me. So So I started working on Sean to try and get him on board, and couldn't get him on board until I bribed him and told him I would make him any 5 dinners he wanted if he had it read by the time he came back from his next business trip.
And I am very food motivated.
Food! There we go. Touchdown. She knows how to get her man's attention.
Yeah.
I like it.
So
you read the book.
Yeah, so I read the book and took off on my first flight and did the first leg, which was about 2.5 hours, 3 hours, and read it. And I landed on my layover and called Sydney, and she asked me, well, what do you think? She's all excited. And, you know, it hadn't quite hit home with me yet because we weren't at a place where necessarily step 1, 2, and really 3 applied quite. But I said, you know, I think I'll keep reading it. It makes sense. But it doesn't necessarily apply to us and where we're at right now. And when I hung up the phone, a young lady sitting next to me said, you know, I've been meaning to ask you what you thought of that book. And she hadn't talked to me the whole flight. She said, 2 years ago, I became debt-free because of Dave, and now I'm a couple years away from becoming a millionaire, and you really should finish that book. And I went, all right. So the next leg, I read the rest of the book and got excited. It hit home. It made sense. Called her by the time I landed in Dallas and said, I'm in. Let's do this.
Wow. Just like that.
Yeah.
She has no idea how much she changed our life.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's there are no coincidences. It's not an accident she ended up sitting beside you. That's pretty
Absolutely
incredible. So
that.
did you pay up? Did you cook the 5 meals?
Of course.
Yeah, she
Good.
did.
Good for you. Well, you should. That's awesome. Very cool. Very cool. So you own and begins a 6-year journey.
Yep.
And you pay off $758,000, your home and everything. And as you said, you got a good shovel.
Yeah.
So life is good, but you just got really, really intentional. So what are these keys to getting out of debt?
You know, stay focused. I think, you know, keep that end game in mind and where you're going. It was really hard for us in the beginning of the journey because we had that rental property. We decided we should sell it. We were kind of under on it, and it sat empty for a long time, and the AC broke, and the furnace broke. Murphy hit, right? And this is the beginning of the journey, and we didn't have kind of those small wins to begin with, and it was really discouraging. But we kept talking about, you know, our family tree and what we want our future to look like, and we, you know, plugged through and you know, stay motivated and again keep that end goal, I think.
And then start now. We wish we had started when I did FPU. We're grateful we started when we did. So anybody that's thinking about it, just start now. You'll be so grateful in a year, 3 years, 5 years. You'll be grateful.
So how old are you two?
I am 33.
I'm 34.
And you're millionaires.
Yes.
Yeah, easy. No, I mean, the house is worth almost $1 million. So then you got 401ks and stuff on top of that, I'm sure, from before you started. And so well done, y'all.
Thank you.
How's it feel?
Free. It's so freeing. It's we knew it would feel good to get to this point, but we didn't know how good it would feel.
Yeah.
And just the freedom to choice of what we want to do, how we want to live our life, what we want to do with our family.
It feels like it's up to us now.
Yeah.
Like our lives are ours to decide now. We're not going to be forced into anything. And it feels surreal to be here. We watch Debt Free Screams like every day for the last all of these years.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to be here doing this.
Wow. Well, we're glad you're here. Congratulations. Very, very fun. That is amazing. Well, and with this kind of an income and only 33 years old and 100% debt free and already worth $1 million, I mean, you're going to be zoom. You're going to be in a position to do outrageous generosity, not to mention live an incredible life, and not to mention absolutely slam dunk changing your family tree.
Yeah.
So very cool. And during the 6 years, you had a baby.
We did.
All right. And how old is your baby?
He is 14 months.
Oh, fine. And what's his name?
This is Conlon.
Okay. Hey, Conlon. Very cool. Here to do a debt-free scream and doesn't even know it.
That's right.
I love it. That's so fun. Well, that's a good motivator right there. So very well done. We got a copy of Chris Hogan's book for you, Everyday Millionaires. You're already one, and it'll prove to you why. As you get through it, you'll enjoy that read as well. So show you how people have really done what you've done, and now you're just one more story that's in there, but it's your story, and it's a great one. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
I'm sure your mom and dad are really proud of you. Who are your other cheerleaders?
We got my mom here with us and Sydney's parents here, and they've been cheering us the whole way. And
we also taught FPU, and so we want to do a shout out. One of the women in our class just finished paying off all of her student loans this month.
Yeah,
So,
Sammy,
awesome.
Sammy.
Yeah.
Way to go, Sammy. Good. Very cool. All right. It's Sean and Sydney and Conlon from Boise, Idaho. $758,000 $100,000 paid off in 6 years, making over $225 as a household the whole time. Great job, guys. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream. 3, 2, 1. We're debt-free! I love it! Woo! That's fun. That's fun. Well, it is awfully fun to talk to someone at any age that has paid off their debt, at any income that has paid off their debt. But because of the way the numbers work, because of the power of compound interest over time, when I'm talking to these couples that are 30 years old, and I'm doing it almost every hour lately, that have paid off everything, house and everything, they're going to be in a position to not simply be millionaires. They're going to be in a position to live their life beautifully, like I told them, probably have net worths in excess of $10 million or more by the time they hit retirement age, and have changed their family tree. And it's pretty incredible. And the interesting thing is, it's simple to understand. It's just hard to do because everybody's got a stupid butt opinion. All these broke people have an opinion. And all I have to do is put one of these proven...
Aiden is on the line in Charlotte, North Carolina. Aiden, how can we help?
Yes, thank you. So I'll give you a little backstory. First of all, thank you so much for what you guys have done. You've changed my family tree.
Wow.
Back in the day, my dad started FPU, I think, 12 years ago, and now they're doing amazing. I am currently 16 years old, and so still in school, obviously. And my question is, I have a job opportunity that I could go take next week if I wanted to, and didn't know if it's better to just simply drop out of school, start working, get these next few years in early, and then later on get my GED and go from there.
What's the job?
It is, so it's a stone manufacturing company, so like the fake stone that you see on walls and stuff. It's not really fake. It's concrete that's kind of painted, I guess.
Yeah.
And they create those stones.
Is that a job that puts you on a ladder to climb to where you ultimately want to be? My goodness, you're only 16, and I love that you're thinking about this, but where does this put you long term if you were to go now or 2 years from now?
So, yeah. So it would give me just a head start. That is what I'm looking at it from. And yes, I could climb, and there's definitely opportunities for raises and bonuses.
No, I'm not asking about financial. I know, I can hear you, man. You are a 16-year-old kid who's got dollar signs rolling around in your head, and your dad and mom done a great job by teaching you about money. I get that. I'm not talking about financial, because it's indisputable that if a 16-year-old starts working now, you're ahead of every other 16-year-old. I get that. I'm saying, does going in this job at a stone manufacturer, is that your dream? Is that where you want to be?
So not officially, but it would get me closer to where I want to be eventually.
Which is what?
I want to get into business ownership and real estate.
No.
Would be the dream.
Okay, so first of all, Aiden, I love you, man. But and I'm the guy. If there was anybody that ever would say it's okay to drop out of high school, I'm the guy.
Well, I'm the girl, because I'd say it.
It freaks parents out. I'm freaking people out right now. I'm not telling anybody to drop out of high school, but we would not drop out of high school unless we were making such a huge strategic decision that you had to take at the time. And the reason I say that is, and by the way, I think high school, like, I'm the guy that goes, 16's probably old enough. Let's let him graduate. I would reform and totally redo the education system. I'm not going to get into that, Aiden. That's not why you called. I'm just saying, I'm the guy that would be most willing to give you the advice to do it. In this situation, I would not do it. And here's the reason. You have the financial education. Your mom and dad have done a great job setting you up to win. Your head is on right as far as thinking about the future and finances. But we live in a world still where there is a stigma. And there's stigmas on a lot of stuff. There shouldn't be stigmas, but there is a stigma on the GED.
Yep.
There just is. And in this case, the return on this decision, right? You hear about return on investment. Well, I like to talk about return on a decision. If I decide to do this versus this, I want to know that there's a huge positive return, and I don't think it's positive enough. I'm guessing your mom and dad aren't really thrilled about the idea either.
And
So
the job connection
the job
is
connection's
very
not there.
loose.
You want to own your own business one day, and you want to get into real estate. You know what I think you ought to do, Aiden? I think you ought to stay in school, but I think you need to get hooked up with a real estate professional, maybe a developer, maybe a builder, maybe a world-class real estate agent, and do everything you can with them. If they'll give you a part-time job doing grunt work, do that.
Yep.
If they'll let you shadow them, do that. Because if I know at 16 a direction I want to go, I want to get in proximity, and I'm going to give you an early Christmas present. It's the #1 best-selling book called The Proximity Principle, which says, Aiden, in order to do what Aiden wants to do, he's got to be around people that are doing it and in places where it is happening. My good friend Jade knows this formula. She's used it. It's simply this. The right people plus the right places equals opportunity, Jade.
Absolutely. I've seen it. I've seen it in full effect, Ken. And I think that if Aiden kind of holds his horses here and plays his cards right, like what you're saying, I think he's going to see it work for him too. You know, he's got a lot of time. He's got a lot of time.
But I am so happy to get a call from a 16-year-old who's thinking big, Jade.
Yeah, he's got his head on straight. His parents, see, this is not one of the whiners that we talked about early on.
No.
This kid's got his head on straight. He's willing and ready to work. I love that.
He's a
I
young
love that about
man.
him.
He's a young man.
I almost.
He's not a boy.
Man.
He's
There
a
we go.
man. He's a young man, you know, because he's thinking big picture, and I love this. But here's the deal for young people listening in, and Jade, you know, you talked about, you live this. When we make a decision, please look at it from every angle.
Oh yeah,
and
you
it's
got
not
it.
about getting ahead in the now. The decision must be about getting ahead in the next. And he's thinking now. And I love this kid. He's 16, but he's going, well, I just make more money for 2 more years. Well, the negative of that decision outweighs the positive of having more money in his account.
You know, there's this teaching that I heard a while back. I've heard it many times. It's called the 20/20 approach.
Yeah.
And back in Florida at our church, this couple used to come, Mac and Julie Richard, and their whole thing was parenting. And they used to teach 20/20 parenting, where it's parenting for the 20 minutes or 20 years.
Oh,
and that approach,
that's it.
that approach works in so many other ways. When you're thinking about career, when you're thinking about your money, it's so important to think about the 20/20 approach. Am I making this decision that's going to feel good for the next 20 minutes, that's going to be convenient for the next 20 minutes, or am I thinking about the next 20 years? That's 20/20. Thank you, Mac and Julie Richard.
Wow.
Lake Hills Church, Austin,
She's
Texas.
Jade Warshaw. Now you know why I say she's fabulous. I'm Ken Coleman, and this is The Ramsey Show. Don't move.
Hi, Andrew. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
All right, so I have about $1,500 in credit card debt. I'm cutting it down, not using that credit card anymore. But my question is, I have $1,694 in interest-free credit card debt. It's interest-free for 33 more months. It's equipment for my music stuff. I'm a musician, and I do stuff like that. So I was just wondering, what should I attack first? What should I do with that interest-free debt? Should I just pay the payments till it's done, or just pay it off?
Okay. Well, so you have $1,600 in debt, and you have how much other debt?
That's the only debt I have.
You only have $1,600 in debt. That's your debt.
That's in the interest-free, yeah.
No, I'm
And then I
saying
have 15
period.
in
Period.
other
Any
debt.
kind of debt. You have a student loan, car debt, other credit cards?
No student loans, no car debt, so I got a paid-off car. So total, with the interest-free and the one with interest, I have about $3,000 in debt.
Okay. All right. And your household income is what?
I make about $16,000 a year.
Okay.
With that's including music stuff and my part-time job as well.
How old
And
are
I'm
you?
a full-time student, so.
Oh, okay. There's that. Okay. Because I was getting ready to say your job sucks. Okay. A full-time job making $16K puts you at the poverty level, so we don't want to call that a career track, okay? So we need to. So what are you going to do when are you getting out of school? What's your plan?
I've got about 2 years left in school. I'm still at home, so I don't have any rent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a mortgage or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
After that,
what are you studying?
Graduating marketing.
Good. Okay.
So I want to go into sales.
All right. So you're a college student that lives at home with $3,000 in debt, and how is school paid for?
My father pays for that.
Very nice. Okay.
Are you running up? Are you buying music equipment? Are you playing shows on the weekend, trying to make it, or is it just a hobby?
No, yeah. That's the dream, but I also want a backup plan because I don't want to, go move up to Nashville and not make it and be stuck. I'd be stuck at that point. So.
Yeah. How do you get the next country music star's attention in Nashville? Waiter. Yeah. So yeah.
That's right.
All right. Okay. Number one, you got a good overall plan. Number two, if you're making $1,600 or $17,000 a year, you should pay this debt off with no out-of-pocket expenses to amount to anything very, very quickly. Would you agree with me that you're going to be done with the entire amount of debt within 3 to 6 months? Is that doable? It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would think so.
Okay. And so really the interest rate doesn't matter because you're going to be done in 3 to 6 months. Now, what we teach, to answer your question technically, Andrew, is to list your debts smallest to largest. And it sounds like they're about the same size, regardless of interest rate. Pay minimum payments on everything but your smallest debt. Attack the smallest debt first, regardless of interest rate. So the fact that it's a 0% interest does not impress me, does not change the order in which I pay it off. I would pay off the smallest one first, regardless of the interest rate, because I want you to have the emotional advantage of traction, seeing that you're starting to win. Rather than living off of these credit cards, you're putting them under your heel and grinding them and being done with them. And that's the big thing. But it sounds like these are very similar. I mean, if they're both $1,600, $1,700 each, then you got $3,000 total, then just you can put whichever one you want first, but be done with the whole thing in 6 months. But let's just say you had 10 different debts, and one of them was $1,000, and one of them was $10,000. But the 1,000 was interest free. Would I still put it first? Yes, I would, because I want you to get the traction, the advantage of the psychological income of winning. It's called hope, and it causes people to continue to move through this, and that's how we at Ramsey have gotten more people out of debt than probably any other organization on the planet, at least currently operating.
And Andrew, let me speak to you here. There is a Gibson Flying V electric guitar that I've been eyeballing for like 6 months, and I could afford it, but my wife and I have made some goals and some plans, and so I'm holding off, and now Instagram listens to me, and they just send me these pictures of the guitar and another one and another one. You're going to have to not buy music equipment for a season. Just stop. You think you need a new thing for this and a new, I got to have that. You don't need it.
There's no end to it.
It just will continue to consume you. And I'm in the middle of of that myself.
Any people that play music have an addictive problem to their instruments.
Music people, car people, gun people, like it just happens. So you got to stop buying equipment. Say, I'm not going to buy another piece of gear for another year, and then I'm going to get out of debt.
Wait a minute. If I need another gun, that's different.
That's right. That's right. And leave the cars alone, right?
Leave my cars alone.
Yeah.
No. It's the same thing. You get to where, and the truth is, there's almost nothing in America that we buy that qualifies as a need.
Very few.
Almost everything we buy qualifies as a want. Very few. I mean, we pretty much are all overfed and have too many clothes. And we pretty much all have a place to sleep. Yeah. So food, shelter, clothing, transportation, we got it covered. I mean, it's not an issue. And so that's not the problem in America. Now, there's nothing wrong with spending money on wants, but we just tell folks to be really careful and be emotionally mature enough to say that is a want.
Right.
And wants, for sure, you pay cash for.
And for sure, they've got to go in line with your overall goals.
Yep.
Yeah.
So one of the issues that Rachel Cruz talks about a lot, and I do too as well, when we're talking about teaching kids about money, is teaching them contentment. to learn to sit in what you have and being good with it. And how far you could go in the music business with the music equipment you already have is amazing.
Yep. That's right.
And without ever buying another thing.
That's right.
It's amazing. And how if I could just get that, that's a discontentment.
Right.
The advertisers and the marketers' job is to create psychological dissonance, discomfort in you so that you feel I will be comfortable when, I'll be satiated when I get that next thing. And that's the driving force of the most marketed to, advertised to culture in the history of mankind, in the history of the human race. And you live right square in the middle of it, and so do I. We see 4,000 to 8,000 advertisements a day.
Yep.
There are advertisements in the bathroom, for God's sakes.
On the front and the back of the door. They're everywhere.
It's ridiculous.
Yes.
And so you're not getting away from it. And so what you have to learn is the spiritual and emotional, psychological discipline to say, no!
I'm not
It's a
doing
complete sentence.
I'm not doing it.
What type of account do you recommend for Baby Step 1's emergency fund? William says on Twitter. You can follow me there at Dave Ramsey, and anytime you'd like. The Baby Step 1 is $1,000 saved, William. It really doesn't matter what kind of account you put it in. It's not going to make any money. If there's no such thing as a 10% account on $1,000. I mean, you can put it in a money market if you want, and you're going to make 1%. And so we're talking about $10 a year. So I don't care if you even put it in an account, is my point. I don't care if you keep it in the sock drawer. I just want you to have $1,000 set aside that you don't touch for anything. Now, if you want to put it in an account, it'd just be a little money market type account at your local bank where you can get to it if you have an emergency. The downside of keeping it on the sock drawer is you might think the pizza man at the front door is an emergency, and he's not. So you need to be careful about how you define emergency. This is just to be used for emergencies. One lady took hers and put it into a frame. She bought a cheap frame down at Walmart and wrote across the bottom of the frame, in case of emergency, break glass. And then hung the $1,000 behind her coats in her closets. It's because, you're not going to make any money on it, William. It's there just to be used only for emergencies. Only for emergencies. That's all it's for. And, your little $1,000 account, hopefully. Now, when you grow the account up in Baby Step 3 to a full 3 to 6 months of expenses, then I'm going to keep it in a money market account. Even at that point, you're not making any money. Let's say you've got $15,000 in there at 1%. It's $150. It's no money at all. You're not making any money on this account. So the emergency fund is not about making money. It's insurance to keep you from cashing out or going into debt, cashing out stuff you shouldn't have to cash out. And so insurance doesn't make you money. Insurance costs you money to protect things that make you money. And that's the best way to look at your emergency fund. It's not an investment. It's insurance. And that helps you if you do it that way. So when I finally got $1,000 and then I finally got $10,000 and it was all I had, I was all concerned that it needed to work really hard. And I started realizing that it's not going to work hard when it's in an emergency fund. And so then I wanted to start investing my emergency fund. Well, that's a dumb idea because by definition, an emergency fund needs to be easy to access, what we financial people call liquid. And so you have to set that aside. You just set that money aside and say, it's not the money that's going to make me money. It's the money that's going to protect the stuff that makes me money. I don't have to, I can, when you've got a big emergency fund, you can carry a higher deductible on your insurance, which causes you what? Have lower premiums. When you've got a bigger emergency fund, you don't have to tap out your 401k or borrow on your 401k if your car's transmission goes out. And so you get to leave alone the things that are making you money, and you get to decrease some of your costs like insurance and those kinds of things. You don't buy insurance on everything that turns around because you've got $15,000 or $20,000 set aside for your rainy day fund. One lady called it her GOK fund, my God only knows fund. And I don't care what you call it, but that's how you do it. So good question, William. I appreciate you bringing that up. So baby step 1 is $1,000 saved. 2 is pay off all your debts except your home. using the debt snowball where you list your debts, smallest to largest, and pay them off in that order with great focused intensity. Once you're out of debt, then you go accept your home, then you go back to the $1,000 account in baby step 3 and raise it up to a fully funded emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. You need to run like your hair's on fire until you get those 3 steps done. You need to be in a panic until you get those 3 steps done. Because if you have $15,000 or $10,000 or whatever 3 to 6 months of expenses in your life represents in cash in the bank, and you don't have any payments but a house payment, just think about your life right now. How would that feel? No payments but a house payment, and $15,000 or $20,000 or $10,000 laying there. You're not even there yet, and you just started breathing better. Just thinking about it. You took a deep breath and a sigh. It's exactly what you did after I said that. When you don't have any payments but a house payment and you have your emergency fund, that's a foundational place to begin to build wealth. That's a foundational place to begin to your level of outrageous generosity. But until you get there, you're just scrapping and clawing like a rat in a wheel, man. And so you have to break the cycle. You have to flip this thing on its head and make it behave. You've got to get so fired up and wired up that your broke friends think you've lost your mind. If people aren't making fun of you, you're probably not on track. Because people are stupid. People are broke. They Said and I Heard is the dumbest financial planning firm out there. Because if you look around, 70% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. $1.4 trillion in stupid student loan debt. Another $1 trillion in stupid credit card debt. Car fleeces. 78% of the cars that leave a new car lot are fleeced right now. And most of the rest of them are financed. Stupid is on parade all around you. It's a clown show financially. You want to be that? I don't want to be that. That's where when I hit bottom, I mean, I didn't hit bottom. I completely splatted because I was stupid with steroids, man. I know what stupid looks like. I looked that boy in the mirror. I know who he is. He was wrapped around my neck. And so you don't want to live like that. But your foundational stuff is to at least get rid of your debt, not counting your home, and at least get you a rainy day fund. And you don't need to be doing any investing until you get that crap straightened out. It's time to put on your big boy pants, your big girl pants. This is grown-up talk here. You're not in Congress. You have to live on less than you make. You have to apply yourself to these situations. You have to look in the mirror and look at each other as a married couple or as a single. Look in the mirror and say, no, we're not going on vacation. We're broke. We have 2 car payments and a credit card debt and a student loan that's been around so long we think it's a pet. No, we're not going out to eat. We're not going to strut around acting like we're something we're not. Tom Stanley, who wrote the book Millionaire Next Door, his last book he wrote before he was killed in a car accident a couple of years ago, was Stop Acting Rich. That was the title of the book. It's a great title. Stop Acting Rich. That's what it comes down to. Quit acting like you're something you're not. You don't have any stinking money. Act like a broke person. Why? It's easy. You're a broke person. You make 60 or 90 or 160 a year and you got nothing. Nothing. No money. Payments coming out your ears, out of control, strutting around acting like you're something. In Texas, they call that big hat, no cattle. Stop it. It's time to lay these basic steps out and lay into them and say, that's it. I'm tired of being broke. I work too stinking hard to be this broke. I put up with too much crap to be this broke. And ain't anybody going to fix it in this election cycle. The only people who's going to fix it's in your house. The White House isn't going to do nothing. It's your house that's got to do it. The people in your house got to start behaving. And then you can turn your money around. But it's an act of adulthood. Adults devise a plan and follow it. Children do what feels good. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show. You are not a victim. You're not a victim of big corporations. You're not a victim of Wall Street. You're not a victim of capitalism. You're not a victim of wealth inequality. You're not a victim of racism. You're not a victim. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
So I need help. I went from zero debt in January 23 to $54,000 in April 24. I was trapped in this abusive relationship that I was hospitalized and arrested for fighting back, but I'm out of that now.
Oh my gosh,
I was in survival.
Patricia.
Yeah,
I'm so
I was
sorry.
in survival. Thank you. I was in survival mode, so I signed up for a debt relief company, and I trusted them. But now that I'm able to take a look at what's going on, I see that they're taking all their fees up front. They're barely paying my creditors, and I have to respond to my second lawsuit by next week.
Oh, my gosh.
I've also found expired DocuSigns that I never saw they would expire really quickly. And so I don't know what they've negotiated. I know they've negotiated about $36,000 of it, and there's still the rest of it's outstanding. And I did pay off my first lawsuit privately.
So the companies that they stopped paying are suing you, right? You stopped paying your debts, and the money that you sent, they weren't paying it. So is that who's suing you? Your creditors?
Well, there were like 12 or 13 cards altogether. So they've settled with some of them, but the ones that they just wanted to accept waiting in line, they're the ones suing me. Yeah.
That's
so
right.
like I said, I've paid off one, and yeah.
How much have you given them, the debt relief company?
Hey, George here in the control booth, and I bet you're wondering what they're going to say next. Get out of debt, sell the horse, yada, yada, yada. The advice may be predictable, but the internet is anything but. You see, your personal info is out there, up for grabs by shady companies ready to add more scam and spam to your life. And that's why I use Delete Me. Delete Me will scrub your data from all of these sites so that you can focus on The Ramsey Show instead of who's buying and selling your info. And Ramsey fans get 20% off at joindeleteme.com/Ramsey or by using the link in the description below. So go take control of your privacy as soon as this call is over.
How much have you given them, the debt relief company, to start?
I have given them $7,000, over $7,000, and $4,000 of that has gone to their fees. Only $3,000 has gone to my creditors. And I did find that when they settle, what's considered settling is when they negotiate a settlement and make the first payment, then they're eligible to take all their fees, which is 25% of my enrolled debt.
I'm sorry. I mean, you're finding out what's absolutely true, which is these places are a scam. And I hate that you're finding that out the hard way. Do you know what it will take to get... Like, how can you get out of this? Have you kind of researched what it would take for you to get out? Will you be dinged if you say, listen, I don't want to pay any more into this. I don't want to do this anymore. What's their policy on that?
Well, the contract, they say I can end any time. So that's why I figure they're padding their fees up front in case I do decide to end.
Yeah, you're right.
But I the one that I want to settle right now, because I do have some money to settle the second lawsuit, but I tried to call them directly and they won't talk to me because of a power of attorney. So the company won't call me back either. And so when I called them this morning, they said, there's no update except we got the power of attorney. And I'm like, no, stop. I don't want them to settle with them.
Well, you have to cancel. It sounds like you have to cancel your agreement with the debt relief place first so that they're not signing and making decisions for you. So I feel like that's first in line. First in line is getting documentation that I'm no longer part of this program. I'm not giving them any more money and I have my power of attorney back so they can no longer sign for me. So I'd want that first. I'd want documentation of that, not just okay over the phone, right? And then after that, then you can really do for yourself what they were saying, quote, they were going to do for you, which is, at this point, because there has been no payments made on this debt, they're going to be ready to settle. and you should be able to do that.
Okay. But yeah, they said they want to talk to me. And so do you think I have time before, because I have to respond to the summons by next Tuesday? Do you think I would have
How much do you owe? How much do you owe for the ones that are suing you?
So the ones that suing me they want like $4,500, but I enrolled $3,800 with them in April. I did just pay off one lawsuit, and they were wanting $3,800, and I settled that for.
And you got that in writing? That's in writing. The first one you paid off.
Yeah. So what I mean, what I would say, Patricia, is this $4,500. I don't want to give you the wrong advice, but from what I have gathered over the years of doing this show and talking to people, it's $4,500. They say it expires on Tuesday. If it takes you another week to get out of the debt settlement, you call them back.
They'll give you another
10
deal.
days later, they're there. They just want the money. I mean, at this point too, with debt settlement, you haven't paid them for so long. They're lucky to get anything, right? I mean, at this point, and how these companies work too. These debts are sold so many different times. They've gone through 3 different companies. I mean, they're not really keeping track. There's a level of intimidation always with them, whether they're on the phone or through mail. And so, I mean, some of it is legit, right? I mean, they can, but I really think, Patricia, if you take all of next week to get out of the debt settlement, and it takes you a couple of days, and for them to email over paperwork like what Jade's saying and have documentation that you are really out, then I would call this company back and show them and tell them, hi, I had a document. I'm a few days late, but I have $3,800. I can pay you and just settle this now. They're going to take your money. They will take it. So I wouldn't be, I would be on it. I would be urgent about all of this because I want you out as soon as possible. But I wouldn't let their timeline be the one that's dictating all this either.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, Rachel, a lot of it's fear tactics and you going, oh my gosh, they're suing me. Oh my gosh, I have a timeline. Oh my gosh, if I don't. And Rachel is exactly right. You'll have the opportunity to make a deal again.
Well, I have to reply to the summons by next week, because if I don't reply to the summons, then they'll make a judgment against me.
And what do you, what's the reply? What's the process of that? What does that mean?
I have to go to the courthouse and file a response. It costs $250. That's what I did the first time.
So could your response be, well, there's 2 things happening here. A, you're concerned about filing the response, which is next week, right? What day?
Yes.
What day?
It's the 13th.
The 13th.
Yeah.
I don't know what day is that. Is that Tuesday?
It's like Wednesday.
Okay.
Wednesday,
so you have 2 business days to try to get out of this. And if you can, then you can apply, go to the court summons and say, I just got out of the debt consolidation. I have the money here and I'm ready, right? That's one response. The other response is, I've been trying to get out of this debt consolidation and I have record of me trying to call and pay this, and they have not taken my payment. But I have the money. I have the check here. I'm happy to pay it today, right? So there is part of this where you might have to plead your case on that. And that's why it's so important to document everything you're doing. I called them on this day at this time, and they have to record those calls too. I called them at this day and this time. So you just do your due diligence on making sure you're keeping record of everything, and then show up at the summons with wherever you're at in life. I've just filed the paperwork, or I'm waiting to hear back on them, and just take it one day at a time, because I think you're freaking out a little bit about what may or may not happen. And if you have the money and you're saying, Judge, I want to do this, I don't think the judgment's going to be against you. I think they'll be fair on that.
Right. So how would I go about revoking the power of attorney? Do I need to get a lawyer to do that, or can I do it myself? Do you know?
I don't think so. I mean, it sounds like whenever you signed up for this debt relief, part of the papers you signed said, and you guys can speak for me and sign for me and all of that. And so it should be that when you get out of this.
Yeah, revoked along with the entire agreement. Yeah, for both. Oh, Patricia, I'm so sorry. You know, you've gotten yourself out of a lot worse situation than this. So you can do this for sure. You can do this. It's going to take some time, but we hope that helps. We're cheering you on.
Create your free Every Dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Hey, Paige, welcome to the show.
Hello. My question is, or I guess my husband doesn't want to try and budget. Every time I bring it up, it's this big fight about who spends most money on the most worthless things. And I don't know how to handle that.
It's beyond that. It's the tit for tat game. You did this.
Yeah.
Well, I did that.
Man.
Well, you do this.
So how are when these conversations come up, let's kind of retro back a little bit. When these conversations have come up, have they come up in the heat of the moment, or has it been like, hey honey, or hey boo, whatever you call your spouse, I want to sit down and talk. Here's what I'd like to talk about, is it that sort of thing? Or is it just like this is happening out of the heat of a moment of somebody opening up a bill for something?
I wouldn't say it's normally like the heat of the moment, but it's always like when we go paycheck to paycheck week after week, you always scraping the barrel. And then I'm like, hey, can we try this? And then he like gets super mad about it. And then it's just paycheck to paycheck. It's the same thing.
You just want to break that cycle.
Yeah.
Part of it, I think part of it's how you approach it. I think that if instead of attacking the conversation as we need to stop doing this, we're just living paycheck to paycheck, that we've got to start hitting on a budget. I think if you kind of approach it in the way of, I'm really worried and I'm really scared and I've just been noticing like my anxiety is going nuts. And I think it's because we're overspending. I think it's because we are not on the same page and I'd really like to be on the same page. What does that look like to you? Like I'd kind of throw the ball in their court of like, what do you think that looks like? And that way it's not you saying, not necessarily coming in saying, this is what we need to be doing, but just opening up that conversation. Have you tried that?
I have tried that, and I've suggested a few different things like, hey, we put both our paychecks into the joint account for bills and such. You can put X amount, I'll use like $300 for an example, into your own personal account to spend it on what you want, gas station, whatever. And then once you go past that, you can't dip into the
okay, so Paige, already, can I say this? Already, it's becoming a Paige is telling. What's your husband's name? Or if you don't want to say, well,
Bob.
Bob. We'll call him Bob. We'll call him.
Okay.
It's already you almost in a maternal role of, okay, we're going to put your money here and you can't do this and this. It is still this hierarchy of you being the kind of authority in a sense. And so the goal would be, just to paint you a picture, is that you are both a team. You both are equal in this. He has as much say in this as you do. You have as much say as he does. And it's you guys together saying, oh yeah, this and this and this and this, versus one telling one what to do, if that makes sense. And so
that makes sense.
Yeah, and I would say this too with an asterisk, there's naturally always going to be more of the nerd, and there's naturally always going to be the free spirit. Right. So like Winston forever will love Excel and love the budget and love painting out what investments of this more than me, which is funny because this is my job and this is like what I do every day. But he actually is more of the numbers and thrives on that and more of the saver than I am. So he won't change who I am, but the way we approach our money together can still be as a team. So always know that. You still will have your own personalities. That's he may never just love the budget like Paige does. And that's okay. But as long as you're both in it together, that's going to be the goal. So I would want to know, do you know his hesitation, what it is that he kind of pushes back against and why he pushes back against it?
I think he likes to kind of be in control a little bit. I know he's always brought up the fact that before we even got together, I had no problem, with my money. But
so he's trying to kind of make it you're the blame. Kids are the blame.
But like our lives have changed since we met.
Sure.
We live in a different place, and things are more expensive, and two kids to do through daycare, and
So I would ask him then, back just to keep the conversation going, because I think Jade's point's really good. It's like I want to hear from him. And so like, okay, so you're saying that before all of this you were you didn't have money problems, which to a degree, because you didn't have all these expenses, right? That's what we're all thinking. But also what did you have in place that worked really well? Because he may have his own way of doing stuff that you don't see, that maybe you actually could implement. And so I think, again, it's going back to this, like, it's this team mentality, which I know is so easier said than done, Paige, because we're about to get off the air here in 5 minutes and go home. And I know you're the one that's having to have these conversations. But as much as you guys can sit down and say, gosh, I feel like this is pinning us against each other. And we can't be against each other. Like, we are in this together and we both want to win. Like no one wants to choose to have a stressful, anxious life and marriage. And so,
and no one's trying to say whose fault it is. Like, if you and Bob can both agree, the problem is
it's us.
It's us. Like, we're paycheck to paycheck. Both of us don't like that. Both of us would love to get to a point where we've got savings and, we're out of debt. Like, if you guys can surround that and like lock arms around that, and that's where you're going to move forward.
Yeah. And sometimes, Paige, especially with guys, it's kind of a stereotype, so it may not be true for him. But I have found, like, when you can put numbers and actual facts instead of just ideas and theories of cutting back and all this, when you actually see numbers down, sometimes it helps because you can actually blame the numbers instead of blaming each other. And so I would just say, hey, one night, like after dinner, can we please, and just ask them, will you just give me an hour? And I want to pull out the bills and I just want to look and, like, what if I just want to, and help me do it, right? Bring him in. That Paige isn't bringing everything and Paige isn't telling what the numbers are. Together, we're having a conversation. So will you just sit down, because I want to know, like, okay, what are you spending on gas? And you guys just make this puzzle and lay out the numbers and kind of just do a mock budget together. Again, I don't want it to be conflict filled or tension filled. This is just bringing numbers to the table, and let that be a starting point, because I think sometimes in our heads, things can be magnified. In our heads, things can be isolating. There's so much that if we just keep up in our head and in our mind, it just can go sideways. And when things are down and you're looking at actual facts and looking at actual numbers, sometimes, not always, but sometimes that kind of like diffuses the tension, because you see that. And then from there, look at the tactical. And then also, it's like, if it's going well that night, or maybe it's another night, dream and just say, hey, what would it look like in 5 years? What does our life look like? How old are our kids? What grade are they going to be in? Where are we going to be? Like, just start to, like, have this vision of where you guys want to be as a family. And there's something about being proactive in that is so inspiring than just living life paycheck to paycheck, month to month, and you look up and it's been 5 years and you don't know where, you don't know where you're going. And so having that, I think, is really key too, Paige. But just know you're not alone in this. This is one of the biggest problems we hear from people, is that one spouse is on board and wants to do this and another isn't. So you're not alone in it. And also, we've heard so many couples on our debt-free stage say, gosh, I wasn't on board. I thought y'all were crazy. And then finally I got on board, and together we did this. So even couples who win start out where you guys are. So have hope, Paige, that this can change. It really can. But I think it's really the way you approach it. Don't be the mom.
Definitely don't be the mom.
Have a humble spirit about it. But bring, this conversation. It's a conversation to be had. It's not pointing fingers and blame. Even this picture of put the numbers out in front of you and, like, lock arms and, like, it's us against you numbers. Like, you know what I mean? It's not us against each other. So
that's good.
It's powerful, Paige. It's a big part of winning, is you and your spouse. And just for the sake of your marriage, not just your money, for the sake of your marriage, I pray that that this brings you guys together. So thanks for the call.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Talking to a buddy of mine, asking him what people were struggling with out in the real world, because I was working in education. And he said, I've been listening to you for a while, Deloney. Me and my wife, we put all our screens away, all our phones and iPads, and now me and my daughters are just sitting in the living room staring at each other. And I was like, well, we'll talk to them. And he goes, okay, I'll just talk to them. And then the light bulb went off, and I said, oh, you don't know how.
Yeah.
Like,
I need some prompts.
It's a skill set, right? And so it was as simple as, hey, I'm going to give you some prompts, and the results, I'm getting credit, the halo credit of people actually talking again without phones, communicating with one another, having fun, laughing, crying, whatever. And it's the Questions for Humans, man.
Questions for Humans.
So we're going to do a Questions for Humans segment here, and so James is going to surprise us.
Yeah, so James, you're going to, I guess, you take over. We're just now, you're hosting.
Yeah, so I picked a few that are kind of fun and lighthearted, and then some that are a little more serious. So,
oh boy,
we'll start with the.
Am I going to cry?
I don't know.
All right.
The first decks that you did were like real, like, what's your favorite poop joke, and now they've gotten real heartfelt and serious.
That's right. I've had to grow up in this.
He's evolving.
In this radio job.
So first question is for John.
Yeah, maybe John, and then you can answer it too. So, what is hands down the best book, movie, or show of last year?
Ooh, of last year
or this year, like just the past year.
Oh my goodness!
Are For me, it's the Yellowstone spinoff series, 1883 and 1923. I can't remember the last time. Well, I can. Last time I enjoyed a television show that much was Friday Night Lights. I thought those two shows fantastic. Loved them. Absolutely loved them.
Only Murders in the Building. My wife and I got hooked on
There it
seasons
is.
1, 2,
See,
3, and that show is a masterpiece.
There
It's
we
fantastic.
go. We unlocked him there.
There you go. Yeah.
All right.
I like all those. Those are great. All right, this one is for you guys. If you two had to buy a plane ticket right now for a guy's trip together, where would you go?
There's no way we'll ever come to consensus because I think we're wildly different in our like.
That's what makes it so fun. You got to
To
pick.
me, okay, I'll say it's a tropical situation where there is pickleball, golf, spa, ocean, sand. That's me.
Can I tell you where my heart went, Ken?
Where?
I want to go to Normandy. I want you to walk me through it. Like if
Wow,
I could have
that got
Ken
deep
walk me
fast.
through like the history of these places, I think
Wow.
every American should visit.
Wow.
And I don't know anything about it.
James has been with me in
Ken would
D.C.
know.
I got to experience Ken in D.C., and I got to tell you, Normandy, that would be epic.
It was
He
just-
comes
That's
alive.
really
full Ken.
impressive. Boy, I feel really shallow after that exchange.
That's cool.
I
I'd
think
get a
he
mas-
pulled-
hey, I'd get a tropical
That's
massage
not
with you too.
Caribbean pickleball versus D-Day. That's it.
Well, two very different trips, but both rewarding.
There you go.
All right, what did you spend way too much money on in the last year?
Oh, easy. Pickleball paddle.
I went to a local lodge before a hunting trip, and I said, I need you to make sure I'm not cold. And I said, I'm giving you a blank check, dude. And he came back, and we went to the register. Easily the most expensive
You know what I'm picturing
clothing
right now?
purchase I've ever made in my life by 100 miles. Suits, dress boots, everything.
I'm picturing Jim Carrey's character in Dumb and Dumber when they finally
That's
make it to
exactly
Colorado.
right. I mean, dude, I've got hunting gear that I hope my son gets married in it because it's going to be way more expensive than any tux, but I overspent on that by a lot.
Now, see, I spent more than just that. I want to clarify my answer, but you said overspent. It's like there's a reasonable number for said item, but there's some things I spent way more money on, but I didn't overpay. That was worth it.
Oh, I way overpaid.
Inquiring minds want to know what kind of pickleball paddle.
Jula. Yeah, it was.
I don't know, but Zach over here wanted
And I bought Sitka, the greatest hunting gear on planet Earth.
Yeah,
I love it. All right, what are one or two of your New Year's resolutions this year?
I don't do resolutions. I have a fundamental stance against them. I kid you not, because all the data behind it. John probably knows even more about this than I do from the psychology side of things, but they just miserably fail. And so I read that about 5 or 6 years ago, and so I have a plan. I have a year plan for myself, and then my wife and I, and so it's not resolutions. They're just like, this is where we're trying to get to. We got some destinations.
Are there any highlights of stuff that you want to share? I know that's personal.
Highlights. Yeah, we want to do something really cool. I don't want to share it over the air, but there's a trip that we really, really want to do. And I know Stacy would not be comfortable with me describing that, but yeah.
Is it a pickleball trip?
Yes. It's tropical massages.
I will tell you that I will look for a pickleball court at said trip. But yeah, stuff like that, financial goals. So we said, how much do we want to invest this year? What are we giving? Where? It's that kind of stuff. I don't get into the whole, I'm going to do dry January or.
And I'm the opposite. I've got
a bunch of resolutions.
I got resolutions like
give us one
in concrete.
Give me top two.
The two big ones are number one, and this is going to sound cheesy, James, and you're going to roll your eyes. I'm being dead serious because you'll know because you and I have worked together a lot.
I'm very nervous.
I want to become more likable. And I would say delightful. I want people, when I walk into the room, people don't go, oh, God. I want them to go, hey. I want everyone's disposition. And I know that I come around with a heavy energy. I'm always having heavy conversations. Did you read this? You know about dopamine? And it wears people out. And so this year, I want to be a more joyful presence when I walk in a room.
Delightful.
That's number one. I want to be delightful. And number two, I want to be on time. It's been a tough January.
Which goes toward the number one.
It helps with number one. People aren't instantly mad when I walk in 9 minutes late, right?
That's good.
There's an incredible woman out in the audience that we had a meeting with earlier, and I was late to that meeting, so there we go. That's how good we're doing.
That's probably a good resolution I could add, but you get my point.
I do,
I
yeah.
want bigger goals so that it requires a lot of inertia.
Well, and so for me, to be more joyful, that means I got to pay
Those
attention
are
to going to
great.
bed.
Those
I
are
got to
good.
eat right. I got to quit eating so much junk food.
I would say yours are legit.
Yeah.
to the point that I don't even. That's way heavier and bigger than a resolution, and that's what I like.
I want to
about
bench
it.
press 200. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Oh, resolutions to me, I hear it's always I want to stop doing this. I like that yours was I want to grow.
No, I want to become. Yeah, the research says if you want to stop a thing, that's pretty limited. Because usually you want to stop a thing because you don't like you, and so you're stopping a thing out of dislike for yourself. It never works.
Yeah.
If you want to become something new, now you're onto something.
Yeah. You got time for more?
Yeah, this one's maybe related, maybe not. So in what area of life do you think you'll need the most help over the next 12 months?
Ken could use some hygiene help. I'm just I'm going to need help on being on time. I'm going to need help on being a joyful presence. I'm going to have to practice this because it's not my natural disposition. I'm just kind of
do you have like some like principles or like help with that, or you just like do you have something that's helping you become more likable, or are you just kind of taking a stab at it?
Yeah, I've got a couple of things. It's a little too personal for the air, but I do have asked a few people to just point it out. Just point it out when I have heavy energy in a room. Yeah.
Are you open to the YouTube commenters helping you out?
Nope.
Bring it.
YouTubers. Come on, help out.
Yeah.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
I'll tell you, I need help navigating this next season in the next year when my oldest son goes away.
Whew.
I'm not trying to bring us down. I'm just saying that's new territory for me. And I know my heart's going to hurt really, really bad. And but it's natural and healthy, and it needs to happen. So anyway, I think I need to talk to some dudes who've been through that, and it'll be good. But I think that's going to be weird. So
that's going to be tough.
Fun
Way to bring
stuff.
down a room, James. Thanks.
Hey, that was
Actually, it was my fault.
That was good, guys.
No,
Thanks.
that was excellent.
This is great stuff. Thank you, Dr. John Deloney, for that fabulous series. You can get it at RamseySolutions.com, all 397 editions of Conversations with Humans.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.
Regina is up next in Las Vegas, Nevada. Regina, how can we help?
Hi, Ken. Hi, Dr. D. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I'm going to get right at it. I'm currently on baby step 2. I've been working on the debt snowball for about 5 years. And as of this Friday, I was thrown a curveball. I was served with paperwork from an attorney that represented me in 2020. And basically, he's calling my note due. I owe him $16,000. So in terms of my debt snowball, I've been up for 3 days trying to rework it and trying to put priority in mind. My concern is, and my dilemma is, part of my debt snowball was the initial payment I made him. I mean, I'm tapped out. So how do I rework this debt snowball so I can see a light at the end of the tunnel?
How much were you paying him each month?
Well, I initially took out a 401k loan because I had to. I had no choices. It was based on my daughter and child support. So I had to have an attorney. I had to have representation. So that was $6,000. I'm still paying that back over a monthly period on a payroll deduction basis. And then I have a car loan and a small loan of $1,000. And
so
I just don't know which way to turn as far as prioritizing, because I've been doing it 3 different ways and I still can't see the light.
So you've been paying him monthly. It's coming out of your payroll. I mean, it's coming out of your check.
No, that's for
I
a 401.
apologize.
Yeah.
My 401.
Did you have an agreement in writing with him that you would pay him out over a certain period of time?
I actually had an agreement to pay him a specific amount, paid him that specific amount. He said he would no longer represent me after a certain amount of time because of COVID. It extended. So because I signed the initial paperwork and everything COVID-wise extended, yes, I owe him this amount of money.
Okay. So have you called him? Have you all sat down and talked? Or does he think, usually you get a demand letter, it's because you're delinquent in payments. Has he been trying to connect with you and you're avoiding him? Why is he sending you, why did this is his first option?
I think it's twofold. One, because no attorney's going to take me on to represent against another attorney. And 2, because he wants his money now. I think it's just, I'm sure he's been, shafted by others. I just don't have it. He knows very well I don't have it. I've contacted him twice in the course of 6 months and said, listen, we had this agreement. This is what I had. I told you. You told me. I'm stuck. And I don't know how to look at this outside of my own head. So I was just hoping maybe I could get a fresh perspective of, do I rework that snowball and sell my car? Because the car is the biggest question mark in my mind.
Well, how are you going to get to and from work? Get to the grocery store?
I Uber or Lyft. I work from home.
Okay. Does your car get you out of your debt with this attorney?
No, it'll get me about, if he wants $16,000 and he can settle on that and not cause me any more grief. I have one commission check coming in. It'll probably knock out half of it.
Hold on. So let's back up for a second. Your assumption that attorneys don't want to sue other attorneys is 100% false. I know several attorneys that love taking on crooked attorneys. They hate that people are out there poisoning the profession, and they're happy to.
I'm not saying he's poisoning, but I'm just saying, honestly, I don't feel he did an equitable job in what he did to me.
Okay.
All right. So,
all things being equal, I do owe him.
Okay.
I'm not trying to say differently.
So let's take the emotion out of this then. You have a $16,000 debt that just got called.
Yep.
Right? Are you able to go get a loan for this money and pay him?
No, that's where I'm having the difficulty. I'm tapped.
Like
I said, I took the original 401k loan to give to him.
Okay.
So, now we're talking, I have no other resources. I'm a single mom. I work 3 jobs. I don't have any more resources, and I truly don't have any more time. I'm fried.
Yeah. So, Regina, he's trying to scare you. Let's forget let's forget about him for a moment, because he actually knows you don't have it. So
exactly.
if we could, let's just how many lines do we have in the debt snowball? So we got $16,000 to the lawyer. What else do you have in your snowball?
$8,000 for the car and a $1,200 just a small loan that I took out to cover expenses because I knew some other stuff was coming.
Okay, and then what's on the 401k? I know that's coming out, but I still want to know what that loan amount is.
It's currently at $5,000, just at $5,000.
All right, so we got $16,000 to the lawyer, $8,000 on the car, $5,000 401k loan, $1,200 in another loan. Is that it?
Correct.
Okay. And you're telling me with your 3 jobs, you're absolutely maxed out. You're paying everything you can right now. Are you putting money towards the $1,200 on the debt snowball? You've been working for 5 years. That tells me you're not making any progress.
Well, the problem is I have to hire an attorney every 2 years. My ex-husband takes me back to court for more child support. And this latest 2020 episode increased my child support by 25%. So I'm literally reworking the budgets and the baby steps every single year.
All right, so I'm trying to help you practically very quickly here. So the car is worth how much? I know you owe $8,000. What's the car worth?
I think I can get $8,000 for it. I do think I can get $8,000 for it.
So that would wipe it out totally. So that's a massive chunk right there. Here's what we teach. We teach working the debt snowball. You're in a situation where you've got a lot of variables coming at you. And I think as far as this lawyer goes, I'm trying to channel Dave right now, and I think you get tough with this guy and go, hey, dude,
so
let me just be honest with you. Yeah. You know I ain't got it. We can look at it. You can come after me all you want. You're not going to get a dime until I can get healthy and I can get set, and I'm going to take care of this. I can work a payment plan and give him a little bit. He can get a little bit of something, and you can put that in the snowball based on a payment plan. But that's all he can get. You can't let his bullying and fear tactics make you make another poor decision.
That's right. So I'm sending him a certified letter that I'd make a copy of and let him know, that I can't do this. Here's our original agreement. Here's how it got kicked. It got expanded through COVID. Here's my financial situation, which by the way. I do not have $16,000. I've already loaned against my 401k. But I will commit to paying you this much over the next few months, and we will go from there. And that's the best you can do. If he wants to sue you in court, cool. They're going to put a judgment against you, and you're going to be in the same spot. You're going to have a $16,000 debt, except it'll be plus court cost or whatever, right? And here's the other thing. I'm going to hook you up with a free session with a financial coach, one of our coaches. Okay, so I want you to hang on the line, and someone's going to walk through this specifically with you. But I want you to keep in mind what Ken just said. If you are out of options, I want you to rest in that. And I know that sounds bonkers, but there's nothing else. Looking at these same numbers for 3 nights in a row doesn't make new numbers. right? It doesn't make a new. There's not a magic solution that you just. It's not a Rubik's cube. You just got to turn it the right way. You got to say you got a bully coming after you for your money, and let's be fair to him. You owe him this money, and now we got to figure out a plan to get him paid back. And so that means you're gonna have to. He won't talk to you on the phone like a grown up. Send him a letter and make sure that he signs for it.
I'm going to say this. I think you need a win, Regina. I'd sell the car. If you can truly get around and do what you got to do via Uber, I'd do it. I'd sell the car. Now we got a $1,200 loan. We can attack that. Then we'll figure out the payment plan to the lawyer. Get some victories. Our coach will help you. This is The Ramsey Show.
Today's question comes from John in British Columbia. He said, my wife and I have 3.5 years of car payments ahead of us, and our monthly payment is $300. We've got 2 kids, earn about $45,000 a year after taxes, and our budget is fairly tight with no wiggle room. We have roughly $20K in a TFSA and owe $15K on the car. You say to use any non-retirement investments to pay off debt, but why should we use the $20K we saved, which is making 10% interest a year, to pay off a payment which has 0% interest? I don't see the benefit of doing that, especially since it would leave us with almost no savings. Interesting. Not the first time we've heard this scenario, Dave. I could put my money in the market and make way more than my debt is costing me in interest.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. You make $45,000 a year. You have a $300 car payment that's causing you stress. Your best thinking has gotten you to this point. So you're going to keep using your best thinking? I have to ask myself those same questions. I mean, it's like, I hired a personal trainer one time to come to our house, and I had a little gym in the bottom of the house, and Sharon's making fun of me. You're paying somebody to help you count to 10, 1, 2, 3, and I'm like, it's not what it is. And she says, well, you don't listen to him. You don't do what he says. He's got a six-pack. You got a keg. I mean, you ought to listen to the guy. My best thinking got me a keg. His best thinking got him a six-pack.
Who are you going to listen to?
So who are you going to listen to? Your best thinking or someone else's?
Yeah.
That's at the core of this. And that's not because I'm offended that you didn't just jump on this, but one of the things we have to do in this process is go, my way's not working. I need a new way. I mean, if you keep making a cake over and over again and you want chocolate cake and it keeps turning out vanilla, you need to change the recipe.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, is the definition of insanity. So that's at the core of this. And then we can answer the question, too.
Yes, but that foundation needs to be there. And what's happening here is I love math as much as the next guy, but if you just do math, you go, wow, this works, man. I'm going to invest all the money in the market and leverage all the debt I can. But math is only part of the equation. We got to talk about behavior. We have to talk about risk. We've got to talk about options and freedom, which he doesn't have right now because he has a car payment. And so if you want to have that freedom, you've got to make a sacrifice here.
Based on your theory, John, you would borrow $300,000 on a car at 0% and put it all in the market at 10%. And obviously, when I say that out loud, you hear the absurdity of it. And that's how absurd your overall question sounds, actually. So, and the reason is you've left out risk, you've left out cash flow, you've left out peace. And so what I want you to do, you can do whatever you want to do, but what we would teach you to do is pay off your car today or sell it if you're going to keep it. If you're not going to keep, if you want to keep the money, that's fine. Sell the car. But I'd pay it off today if I'm going to keep it. And then I would continue to move through the baby steps, which puts you, if that makes you debt-free, then you're going to move towards your emergency fund. I'm building that up. And then you're going to move towards retirement accounts.
Which it looks like he'd have about $5,000 left over, even after paying off the car. So it'll get him some headway into baby step 3.
So I'm not sure in British Columbia what a TFSA is. I'm assuming the way he asked the question that it is not retirement account.
Yeah.
And so, but conceptually, if it's not a retirement account, I'm pulling the money and paying the car off, or I'm selling the car. One of the two. You need to get rid of your car payment, John. Because but the other thing you got to really think about is, my best thinking brought me here. Number one, that's not working. Number two, you have to ask yourself if the information I'm getting somewhere else is credible, and if it is credible, I'm going to submit myself to that new way of thinking. And so, it can be just simply, I was reading a book on parenting when the kids were little. And it said this, and this, and this. And I went, I have never done that. I've never even thought about that. And I thought, yeah, but the source, the author, was somebody I believed in. And I thought, you know what? He probably knows more about it than I know. So I'm going to start doing that.
Do it his way.
You know, after reading about 15 of those books, the kids turned out. None of them live in my basement. So there you go.
Boom.
And so that means I'm a success, right? So there you go. Open phones at 888-825-5225. For you basement dwellers, you have to know that an eagle who fails to launch is eventually known as a turkey.
I like that one. I don't know if I've heard that.
That's where you go. So set the little eaglets free. It's good for them. The little wings will develop, and
turkeys get shot.
We will have society, and and we eat them at Thanksgiving. Yeah, so they're. Cody is in New York to start off this hour. Hey, Cody, how are you?
Hi, Dave. It's great to be on the phone with you.
You too,
great
sir.
Great to finally meet you. I've been watching you for a little while now.
Well, thank you. How can we help?
So I had a question about, I recently put myself back a couple baby steps by going and getting myself a truck loan. But now a girlfriend of mine, of course, not married. So, I know roughly where I'm already at thinking, especially watching you. She wants me to finance a car for her. I was thinking if she comes up with a large down payment, I'm in pretty decent financial shape myself, so
you have a truck
maybe
payment.
She could No, I know. That's true. So I was thinking if I could go through, if I should finance the vehicle for her or not, because it's a really big deal to her. Obviously, she has a vehicle now, so in my eyes, she doesn't need one. I went and got it inspected for her, so I know it's good for at least another year. I'll get your take on it.
Cody, if you were to guess what we would say, what would your guess be?
Of course not. I mean, I have my own truck loan, and I'm
here's what sucks, Cody.
$4,000 a month toward it to get it paid off. So,
I know. So here's the deal: is like it is number one, just taking on debt in general is a risk, and then number two, when you put your name on someone else's debt, that's a massive risk. And we have had
even more risk.
Yeah, just so many calls. Okay, so do you want us to help give you a good argument to give to your girlfriend? Is this part of why you called?
Yeah, that would be great. I've went over the points of, interest rates are higher right now. I have my own, I've had the conversation with her, like, can you wait until I get my truck paid off? I'm expecting to get my truck paid off. I financed $33,400 for it. I've made literally
Cody,
2 payments on it.
Cody,
and I already
what
got
do
it.
you make?
I make about $120 a year.
What does she make?
She's making about $800 a week. Bring home.
Okay, and how long y'all been dating?
Yeah, like 4 months.
Okay. And how old are you two?
I just turned 30, and she just turned 19.
Okay. You just described a sugar daddy.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
Yeah, she doesn't make any money. She's 19 years old, and she wants you to go buy her a truck.
No, a car probably.
Or a car,
I don't think she's
or
going to be driving
whatever.
a truck. Yeah.
Rachel, you're going to crawl out from under the desk now. The
car.
Yeah, yeah. So you make a lot of money. She didn't make any. So, number one, I don't know that there's an explanation for her that's going to satisfy her. Okay?
Yeah.
Because she's not going to be loving a no of any kind, no matter how logical or sweet or well crafted. Okay? So let's just be prepared for the fact that she ain't going to like this. Okay? Number two, if you were my son, who is just a tiny bit older than you, I would knock a noggin on your head if you did this, because a lot of reasons. Number one, what Rachel said, you're going to get yourself in a mess. Number two, of course, we teach you not to borrow money. Of course, we're not going to teach you to borrow money for for yourself even after you finally get your truck paid off, because it was a mistake to go in debt for the truck in the first place. We're going to stop doing debt so that you can become wealthy making $120,000 a year. Okay? So we're going to take debt off the table. We're just going to take that. There's no explanation for it, Cody. We're taking debt off the table. You called us. You knew what we were going to say. So, but here's the biggest problem, all right? Relationally, this feels like it's going to be a strain if you don't do it. And I will tell you from having coached folks for 30 years that if you do this, you're going to put a bigger strain on the relationship because you're changing the tone, the flavor of the relationship from two independent adults seeking a high quality connection to now one is dependent upon the other.
Right.
And it changes dinner.
Meaning her being dependent on me.
Yeah. Because and now you're somewhat dependent upon her, because if she doesn't pay the payment, making $800 a week, shock, then you're going to end up having to pay the payments, shock. Okay, and then there's going to be another strain on the relationship, and so you're going to do damage to whatever the quality of this relationship is. It's going to get worse if you do this.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest reason not to do it. The second biggest reason not to do it is there is no scenario that turns out positive out of this. All the scenarios are negative.
And I think too, Cody, I would be curious on the relational side, how she takes the no. Probably reveals a lot about her, right? And the kind of person you want to be in a relationship with.
What she's really doing here. Yeah.
You know, but if she's willing to learn and she's like, okay, so why won't you co-sign? You're like, well, because of this and this and this, and I want to get out of debt. And I want to do, you know what I mean? And you may teach her something new, which is great. You know, I'm not saying she's like a bad person, but y'all's value systems might be very, very different. And then the other thing that would happen too, if you co-sign and she loses a job, or she suddenly decides, oh, I'm going to go on a fun girls trip and spend money, and oh shoot, I just can't make my car payment this month. And you're thinking, you just went on a girls trip and you're not going to pay your payment, and now I'm stuck with, like, you're going to start analyzing everything that she buys and purchases. And so, like, it just, the whole thing, it's just it's very messy.
Yeah,
so
let's be real clear. It won't be co-signing, because there's no bank in the world going to sign her up for anything.
No, that's probably.
She's living below the poverty level. So you're going to own a car with a car payment, and then you're going to have to go pick up your car from your ex-girlfriend when you break up. This is going to be awkward!
And then you're going to feel terrible if you broke up with her one day, and then you have to go and be like, I need my car back. She's like, I don't have a car. How am I going to get to work? And now you're dependent. You're stuck. I mean, it's just, no good plan. But Cody, I appreciate you calling.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah. I sympathize with where you are, and you're a nice guy trying to think about this.
Yes. You
did call the people who tell people not to borrow money so that they can become wealthy and outrageously generous and ask to borrow money, period. Bad idea. Number 2, doing that with people or for people that you're not married to, bad idea. Number 3, when the person you're doing it for is completely broke and makes no money, super bad idea. So let's just keep adding on to this. This is The Ramsey Show.